still we're still trading the SEP contract. We're going to switch over on Monday. It's going to be plenty of volatility and volume here to trade SEP as they turn over from SEP to DEES, and so we'll switch over on Monday to the DEES. Okay. All right. I think that mostly you should be able to trade the SEP contract, even though they sometimes officially turn over today. I know some platforms don't allow you to trade the DEES contract, but there's a big difference this year. This month, there's what is that, about almost 28 S&P point difference. 18. So we'll see. All right. Anyway, we'll take one day at a time, see what happens. Morning to some of the new folks that are here. We are trading mini S&Ps, looking for opportunities to scalp the market based on the levels we just gave out, in addition to any price action opportunities that might occur. Had a busy week, as you can see. We were all over the place yesterday. Rotated to the downside, then came up very nicely. And now we're just kind of continuing to slow push the upside. Remember, we talked about getting above the 20. We will repeat the levels here momentarily. Yeah, we'll have them printed up here. I'll repeat them now anyway. Our pivot this morning is 40.30. Resistance, they're there. Thank you, Don. They're there for us. All right. All right. Market is kind of hanging up here now, coming back into the range that they were at most of the morning. A little bit resistance right in here if you are a little aggressive with a little price action play, and definitely the end of an era of the Queen. Passing this yesterday. She was, and they had everybody coming over. It was kind of writing was on the wall there. Pretty. Okay, like I said, we had a little bit of a resistance right in there. If you were a little aggressive, maybe you took a little scalping opportunity right there against the 36 area. Let's see if there's any numbers coming out this morning. There is wholesale inventories coming out this morning, and then we have a whole bunch of Fed speaks. At 9 o'clock, Fed speak. At 11 o'clock, 2 Fed speaks. So Fed is they're going to be chit-chatting. All right, so we had a little resistance up there at the 36 when it first got up there. Now we're continuing to push up here. We're on to a next little area that we have is up at 40. Kind of a tight little range overnight, to be honest with you. Not really much happening. I guess with the rollover, maybe a little bit tight. So a couple Fed speaks. Yesterday, Powell was talking pretty much, and when he was talking, you can see what happened there. They pushed the market all the way down, but once he stopped talking, they continued the little rally that they had here over the last couple of days as we come up here to our 40 area. Again, just keep your stops in place no matter what. He did say yesterday when he was chit-chatting away that Fed needs to act forthrightly and strongly to avoid 1970s inflation. So they are obviously concerned about, things getting out of hand and too many people around in the 70s, but it was crazy, right? It's crazy in the 70s, 18%. Everything was nuts. Working as 40 area, if you did take it, obviously we did have a little resistance around the 36 and a nice little rotation here against our 40 area. So a couple quick little trades there in the first 5 minutes. I don't know if you used our levels or not, but just if you use our levels alone, we had a nice little rotation there against the 40 area, which was our first level resistance. And if you look at the chat, you will see the levels there that we are using as a guide to the day. We can tweak those, add to them, subtract from them, adjust them a little bit, tell you that they're no good anymore. Everything is based on price action. Just nothing is etched in stone here. This is trading, right? I mean, after all, we're trading. We're not. We can change our minds. We can adjust them a little bit, all based on market conditions and what's happening at that moment. We try to help you along here in the morning with our commentary, those adjustments. But we also have an education course that helps you understand why these levels are there, where to find them, how to find them independently of myself, how to make those adjustments accordingly, how to understand your risk tolerance and risk profile so that you can maximize profits for yourself. We have discussed psychology because that's a big part of trading, and how to manage that a little bit, right? Because everybody here has different risk tolerances and different mindsets. So, all right, nice rotation there against our 40 bonds here. A little bit of a hiccup. They are nervous, I think is the proper word for them. Let's see what the yield is on the 10s right now. 3.25. Obviously, it's a little bit more than that at the time being, but 3.25. So this is a good place for it to kind of figure out where we're going next. It was at, well, I don't know, it was close to 275, and then this last move here pretty much cemented the fact that we're going to have 75 basis point, especially with his comments as of late in regards to what they are going to do. It's a nice rotation there against our 40 area. And next level on the upside we have is up at 48 right now. A little support. I would just look at the 23. Let's go with that. Let's see. As the energy situation in Europe grows dimmer, that's an unknown. Play on words there, no pun intended. ECB officials are preparing to double down on their aggressive monetary stance, loading up the policy rifle with more gunpowder. Wow, these guys are. The central bank delivered a monster 75 basis point. This is for the ECB increase on Thursday, which is the largest hike in the institution's 24-year history. The cost of energy was the biggest factor in sending the Eurozone inflation rate to 9.1. Well, that's happening. What's going to happen over winter? Which is the central bank is trying to put a lid on lest it spirals out of control. Yeah, okay. We want all economic actors to understand that ECB is serious. We expect to raise rates further because inflation remains too high and is likely to stay above our target for an extended period of time, said the ECB President Lagarde. We think we will take several meetings. How many is several? It's probably more than 2, including this one, but it's probably going to be less than 5. There. So there you go. Less than 5. She gave several, but then she gave a number. There you have it. I cannot reduce the price of energy. I cannot convince the big players of this world to reduce gas prices. I cannot reform the electricity market. Monetary policy is not going to reduce the price of energy. The message leaves many wondering about the role and strategy of the ECB, especially if it cannot fight structural energy issues and supply side problems. Really? Rising borrowing costs will only increase the risk of the Eurozone slides into recession, and the central bank has even sharply reduced growth projections for next year. We are just kind of hanging here in this range that we were at most of the morning, as you can see. We had a nice little rotation there against our first level of resistance. This might be it for today. It's been a interesting week. I mean, we've gone from the 38 handles, right? Let's see. Where are we to begin the week here? Oh yeah, it's a short week too. We're giving 38 handle all the way up here to up in the 40s now. So a nice little rotation here in the market after absorbing Powell's comments. And also, I think this has been like this 6th week in a row we were down or something like that. I mean, I'm sure you'll hear about it over the weekend, how many weeks we were down. This was a little, maybe a relief rally, somewhat. The overnight high was 45. Now we're trading, we're still trading SEP, even though they rolled over to the DEES. Okay, so if some, like I said, some platforms, once they roll over, the first day they roll over, they don't allow you to trade the other contract. We are going to still trade the SEP contract today and roll over on Monday. We'll have Monday's numbers up there. So in case there's a discrepancy here in the numbers, there's about an 18-point difference between where the SEP contract's trading and the DEES contract's trading, in case you can't flip between both contracts. I found that out lately, but it all depends on the difference between the two contracts. Demand and where. Okay, don't take this as where I think the market's going, but sometimes if there's a buying binge or a selling binge, it's kind of the next contract kind of leads the way a little bit, because it seems like it's up front. Usually, simply because you're turning over. I mean, some people want to have let's say they have a position in the subcontract and they want to roll it over to the DEES. The valuations of the basket of the valuation of the basket of stocks, which is because you're trading the S&P 500, right? So that valuation is going to be the same, but the price is just going to be a little bit different. It's the price adjusts to the valuation of the group of stocks that are in the S&P 500. And for right now, in September, which is going to be, that this contract is going to end at the end of the month. This valuation right now is at this price. When we roll over to the DEES contract, that valuation is just it's the same valuation, but just a little. The prices are a little bit different. The index price is different. Can't give you the exact reason, but you have to keep the valuations the same. So that's where it comes out to. The valuation is a little bit higher price. Now, sometimes they're tighter. Sometimes they trade a little bit closer than 18 points. 18 points, by the way, is a lot. It also leads to, when it's a big variant like that, probably leads to volatility in the market. There's some, nervousness in the market, so the volatility is a little bit greater, and so the valuations are a little bit further away. So, not giving you the best explanation, but I don't always understood. I never always understood why should be the same, but it's not. But and they're always different. Like this year, it's this month or this quarter, I should say, it's 18 points, and sometimes it's like 5 or 10. Sometimes it's almost nothing. But it has to do with the valuation of the group of stocks. All right, we got a little bit of support there at the 23. Got drifted slowly down to 26 and change. And quickly coming back up here to, well, it's kind of blowing on both sides of our pivot, so I would not really, our pivot right now is not workable. While the prices of gas in Europe is surging and other energy sources going the opposite direction, a barrel of Brent crude is now trading under $90 a barrel, with West Texas Intermediate trading at 85, which is nearly 10% below the level for which the benchmark traded before the Russian invasion. Brent and the WTI ended up a high of $130 a barrel during the crisis, and while the two are still up 13% year to date, they have been on a steady decline since mid-June. You're considering a sell-off today because of short squeeze. Well, if there's a short squeeze, what's going to happen to the market? Again, there, if you look at the chat, you'll see the levels that we gave out this morning as a guide to the day. Thank you there, Don. The EU is the largest importer of natural gas in the world, and is still and has built much of its grid based on the fossil fuel. Natural gas is used for everything, like cooking and heating for consumers, as well as electrical and power generations for heavy industry. The block used to be mostly resource dependent back in the 60s and 70s, but the North Sea gas fields have been depleted, while the bloc has reduced its dependence on coal and rejected investments in nuclear energy. As a result, there have been a tremendous reliance on Russia, which threatens to cut off supplies completely and send the benchmark natural gas futures in Europe soaring. Brent and WTI, on the other hand, are highly linked to forces of global economy, those forces which at the beginning of the year were showing much promise due to pandemic recovery have recently soured. Recession talk is everywhere, while demand concerns, rising stockpiles in China lockdown, and possibility of another release of U.S. strategic petroleum reserves weigh on prices. In fact, crude is headed for a back-to-back weekly loss and is down 4% since Monday. Can't feel sorry for those people, though. No, I don't. All right, we're coming down here again. We're still we floated back to the middle of the range, so kind of see where today's going there. This is a financial market sell-off on the backs of recession fears. It's a continuation of the bearish macro backdrops that some economists were extremely broad-based negative sentiment, which is also seen in the industry metals. All right, so I mean, it's not looking too good. Hey, Don, you have a great weekend. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Sean, no problem. We'll be glad to chit chat with you. Have a great weekend. VIX is trading at 23. So let's see what else we can talk about here. As the market kind of just gyrates back into this range it's been at, again, patience is important. We always talk about patience, having to wait. It paid out very nicely. We had two quick trades there in our first 5 minutes. And then they kind of just made a little run down to 26 and then rotated back up. We had 23. So just kind of just be patient. Again, we cannot create volatility. All we can do is trade it. And sometimes we get a lot of volatility, as we discussed the other day with, I call it fluidity. And then sometimes it just, you think of a faucet, you turn on the faucet really to extremes, it goes quite quickly. And then other times it just drip, 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 drip. But it is what it is. It is Friday, so usually Fridays are kind of a little bit slow. I mean, we have come back since the Labor Day holiday, and most people are back. And we were busy this week for the most part, so I think some volatility is back. Obviously, if we start rallying a little bit here, the volatility is definitely going to be sucked out of the market. But we'll see if this continues or not. All right, we are range bound here again. We've been trading in this overnight range for a long time now. So again, you have to, we just never know when we're going to be busy, and we never know when we are going to have some volatility and some action. But we have to be prepared and always ready, right? That's all we can do. All right, we're just kind of here. Again, we can only be patient and wait. Support down at the 23 area. All right. Again, if anybody has any questions, good time to ask, especially when the market kind of settles into this range. Again, we don't know what the markets are going to do. We're not here to guess. All we can do is trade. Unfortunately, we're just popping back in the range. We are where we're at. Again, you have to be patient. No reason to. This is what I like to call a no trade zone. Upside resistance. We already traded 40, so we're not. That's not. It's not a doable number anymore. So we're looking at 48 as our next level of resistance on the upside. Obviously, the 45 is there, right? So, but again, we have like a double top up there. So the 45 is there. So if you're going to take it, might include the 48 as well. All right, market continues to uptick here a little bit. Again, like 45s, there's a little bit, but I'm looking at 48 is a little bit better. I mean, it's just me. It doesn't mean that you have to do the same, but that's where I'm looking at. As we come up here to the 45, remember I said 45 is the high, so it might give it a little bit of a push, and we'll see what happens at 48. You could do both if you're going to trade up here. Again, it just depends on your risk tolerance. Making a little bit of a push here, got up to 40, 5.25. All right, market trying to extend here a teensy weensy bit up here to 675. We got a little resistance at 48. All right, now we're coming up here to the 48 area. Okay. And up here continues to uptick here. Again, keep your stops in place no matter how you are trading this. And again, coming down here to the 48 area. If you didn't get stopped out, giving you a chance here to exit the trade. If you don't like the price action around it. I did think we were going to bust up above the 45. That did happen, but I guess we got up a little bit, hit those stops a little bit more energetically than I thought. But it did rotate quickly back down to that 48 area. Maybe if you just lighten the load there a little bit. Again, it's a matter of managing the trade once you see the price action. Talk about that all the time. Next level on the upside we have up here is at the 57 area. All right, just kind of hanging here. Again, give you a chance there to exit some of them as the market retreated quickly off of that extension there above the 45. Again, we're trading the SEP contract here. All right, kind of staying strong here a little bit. Looking at the 57 area next. All right, we're on the highs here, looking for a push up to the 58. That's where we have our next level of resistance. All right, market continues looking at the 57 area. Nice little rotation here to the upside. They tested it. They tried to push it down. We had 23 as support. Got down to 26 and change down there, and then continued to push, and then came back into the range. And then just here over the last 20 minutes, pushing a little bit forward. All right, we're just kind of hanging here on these highs here a little bit. Looking, seeing what it wants to do. Yeah, again, these rallies are tough to trade. They really are. Once they start going up, they do They move slow. They don't rotate too much. So you have to make sure you keep your stops in place. We're not going to be perfect here, obviously. This is trading. Could we've gotten long? Tried to get long there against the 23. Then we kind of just got back into the range. Maybe could have made a case for getting long there above 46 into our 48 if you were, again, depending on how you manage your trades and what you're looking for. Now we're coming back down here. Support would be around the 45 to 40, 44 to 45 area. Whatever trades you put on, make sure you put your stops in place. Yeah, it's going slow today. We've had a couple trades this morning, then we kind of got pushed through the 48 very quickly, gave us one chance to exit that trade, and then kind of rotated back up. All right, we're just kind of back up here on these highs. Support there at the 44 to 45 area, coming up here to the 57 now. All right, quick little rotation there against the 57. Nice little rotation there for us. There we go. We got nice, nice quick 3 points out of that. Again, we're not always going to be perfect, but that was a nice little rotation against the 57 area. And that was, I didn't even have to wait on that one. That was nice. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes we have to work it like we have to work the 48. Sometimes it's just there. And obviously you have to have your order in place, right? I mean, I keep saying that all the time, but that's the only way you would have got that one, I think. They flushed it up there. They hit those stops and they came flying back down. So obviously you have to have your orders in place there so that you can take advantage of the rotation against the 57 area. Hopefully, again, if you've left your orders in there, you obviously have your stops in place when they get filled, right? And consequently, you'll that's the way you protect yourself against a runaway train. But that's not usually our levels are important that they will give us a chance to work it, like we worked the 48. So hopefully you were able to jump in there, have your order in place, and then take advantage of that 57 area. Those are the nice ones to work out. And if you're still working the order and you still got it, that's a very nice trade for you. And this is one way of, if you're trading multiple contracts, that you can take advantage of a little move like that and take out more than 2 points on these trades, or 3 points, whatever we're looking at today. All right, nice little trade there against the 57 area that we had. Again, we gave out those levels at the beginning of the day, and we adjust those accordingly based on the price action. And but those worked very nicely. Next level on the upside we have is up at the 65 area. All right, seems like we're going to back ourselves into a little bit of a range here. At support, we have support around 44 to 45, and it's kind of hanging here. Had a nice rotation, a quick rotation there against our 57. Hopefully, some of you were able to take advantage of that trade. Now we're just kind of hovering up here. Next level resistance we have up at the 65 area. All right, we're just kind of hanging here and coming off the 57. And we'll see where it wants to go from here. A little support right in here if you're a little aggressive, if you're looking for a little buying opportunity. Again, it all depends on your risk tolerance and if you want to even trade after all this. Fantastic there, Chad. You have a great weekend also. I love it when guys are leaving and girls are leaving early on the weekend. Makes my day, makes my weekend. It's good. It's a good time to leave on the weekend early. And there they are for us. Those are the levels that we are going to use as a guide to the day. If anybody has any questions, again, we trade the morning hours. So we did have a little support here. We set at the 45 area. We got right down to 45 and a quarter there and pop back up. So if you are trading and you're looking for a little buying opportunity, it was right there. Again, all we're trying to do is scalp the opportunities that we have, that the market gives us. And that was a nice little rotation there if you did jump in and look for a buying area. Again, if anything I talk about, anything I say is suggested as far as levels are concerned, or where to buy and where to sell them. Taught in our education course, the goal is to make sure that everybody can do this independently of myself, and to understand your risk tolerance and so on and so forth. That's what we're trying to do here on an everyday basis, especially in our education course, to make sure you understand why levels would work, where you'd find them, why they would be areas that we feel are important to us and we can trade. And again, every day is different. Every day is unique, and not every day is the same. So this is, after all, futures trading. And that's what so great about this business, right? It's tough. It's not easy, but it's fulfilling when things go well, and you can make your own hours. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. We're coming here to the end of our morning session, as we are definitely slowing down. Again, we talk about being patient, and that's very important.